All right, so first off, I want to say the channel passing 25,000 subscribers, that's fantastic. I'm very happy about that. Secondly, though these videos do not perform well, and I cannot overstate how poorly these videos perform, it's fine. It's sort of like it's my therapy, and for those who tune in for the therapy, thank you. And this episode, in 50 minutes, did what could be done in 3. So it's a miracle, right? This entire episode could have been just not a thing. This is what drives me nuts when I see, oh, it's a big 4-parter, it's a big overarching storyline. So there's not going to be any filler, right? And I feel like if I asked writers that, I would just see a cloud of smoke, some ninja dust, and then the room would be empty. So this starts off with Eddie walking into CCPD. He's forgotten he's Eddie Thawne. I honestly, you know what's weird is I never really cared about Eddie Thawne. I didn't. And so when he died, it didn't have any emotional impact on me. I was kind of glad the storyline was done. He doesn't remember he's Eddie. So we then find out in the next scene that Barry vanished 7 hours before this. Cobalt isotopes in the air, according to Chuck there. And Mark shows up because Cecile called him because she has his phone number. Khione's kind of like, why didn't I know? Well, because Khione, you don't have social media, I guess. In this day and age, is it really possible that you can say I had no idea how to contact somebody? Like it just seems odd unless they don't have social media at all. And if they don't, and you want to, it's just anyways. Maybe Mark doesn't have it. Maybe Mark's too cool for it. Anyways, everyone splits up to search, and again I put so no Barry in a show called The Flash. it's, it's like it's so bewildering to me. I cannot remember a superhero show ever that has had so many episodes that doesn't have the superhero in it. I just I cover sports all the time. Can you imagine going to a game? Let's say you're going to a football game, and the L.A. Chargers are going to play against the New York Giants, and so right before the game starts, they go, you know what? The football players didn't show up, but we set up some nice tennis courts. You're not getting what you paid to watch, so people would tune in thinking, well, I haven't watched The Flash in a while. They would start watching this. Just think about it. People who've lapsed have stopped watching The Flash and think, all right, it's the final season. I'll tune in. It's the final few episodes. Barry's not in it. He's not in it until almost the end, and then he's only in it for a few moments, and then he's gone again. So, Iris looks 9 months pregnant. I've talked about how they've just done a fast forward. I don't remember seeing 6 months later or anything, just fast forwarded. So she looks very, very pregnant. She talks to Allegra about stuff, being in love and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Allegra gets zapped when she goes out the door, and there's a gas attack on Iris's workplace, which, fine. It knocks out a couple of people, and Khione cures them, kind of. So they weren't breathing. They couldn't breathe because they inhaled this halon radiation, whatever. Doesn't matter. So she grows plant cells in their body so they can breathe. And I have to pause because I'm thinking, okay, on some level, what? And on another level, nope. Uh, Photosynthesis is the thing, right? And so plants, they take in carbon dioxide, they give off oxygen. We as human beings are disease bags. And we breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide mixed with oxygen. There's still some oxygen there. So these people wake up and they're all green because that's what happens. I get now. Do they have to be in the sun? I am fascinated to know. Do these people just wither if they don't get sunlight? So they don't thank her. They run off screaming and yelling, even though she just saved their lives, which I thought was hilarious. It's not supposed to be funny. That's the thing. There were a few things in this episode that clearly are not supposed to be funny, but it's hilarious. It's really funny. This is genuinely funny stuff. I froze all the water in their bodies. You've killed our friends. I grew plant cells inside their bodies. How did you do that? Magic. So then you find out a cobalt attack knocked out Allegra, and I'm like, yeah, Allegra knew. She said, oh, hey, what are you doing here? Kind of like, not like adversarial, but I recognize this person, so this was really telegraphed. We go back to Eddie. He's learning that he was dead. It doesn't. None of this matters. You could have had Eddie Thawne just show up and say, yeah, so I had amnesia. I don't now. And hey, sup? I hate Barry Allen. You could have just wiped out this whole backstory that's doing nothing but wasting time. So, and I love this. And I put this right here. You turned them into mutant plant people, Mark says. So right away, I'm like, it's not Mark. This isn't Mark. So right away, I'm like, okay, so it's not Mark. Got it. Cool. All right. Mark's the one that's been zapping people. Got it. It's not Mark. Yep. Cool. So I put right here, not Mark talks to Chuck, lies about Khione, and I put here, how can they not tell? Mark has been part of this team for some time. I understand he's been gone for a couple of months, but I would remember if somebody that I worked with was a jerk. And he's just an absolutely insufferable jerk in the way he's talking to Chuck, in the way he was talking to Khione, and nobody picks up on it. It's just sort of, I guess Mark was always a jerk. We must have forgot. So Chuck's a moron and lets Mark finish whatever he's doing. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. How does Mark know how to finish what you're putting together to detect this cobalt signature? I guess it was to detect wherever the cobalt. Don't overthink it, Shannon. Don't overthink it. And then Eddie's out because this voice in his head told him while he was at CCPD to find her. So clearly he has to go out and he has to find her. And find her means finding Iris. Don't care. Cecile gets knocked out by not Mark. He's the negative speed force. Everybody be surprised. And then Nora Speed Force, so the good Speed Force, zaps Not Mark. Not Mark had ruined Chuck's work, but Not Mark also tells Nora Speed Force that he knows that her powers are fading and that she's not going to be able to stay in this world for very long. And I'm thinking, okay, like, it's just obviously not. She never sticks around. So Eddie finds out that Iris married Barry by breaking into her office. So again, somebody else that doesn't know how to use social media and decides to just, I'll break into her office. And the security sucks. So he's in her office. He's not supposed to be there. You know, woman comes in, what are you doing here? Security guy comes in, and Eddie's just like, nope. And he runs off, and you can see the security guy kind of like watching him go. What are you... Your security, what are you doing? What is your point? What would you say it is you do here? To quote Office Space. Guess he got away. You are the worst security guard in history. Yeah, well, I mean, like if somebody was like, shooting up the place, we'd be like, yeah, there's a guy with a gun over there. Good thing I'm not over there. Anyways, because this is Central City. There's always some kind of meta thing going on. There's always some kind of a big crisis. There's always a bunch of explosions. And you hire this big burly security guy who's kind of like, guess he got away. Nah, I don't know. Anyway, just one of the things that stuck with me. And then Iris talks about how much she loves Barry and how much Barry loves her and how their love will overcome anything. It doesn't, but sure, power of love. I'm sure in the finale, their love for each other will heal the universe, and Khione will heal them, and then they'll have a planet all for themselves, or I don't know. So the Speed Force talks to Khione, and it's dying, I guess, or just going back to the Speed Force, whatever, and tells Khione it's all up to you. You have all the power in the universe. So again, going back, 5 episodes, Khione had no powers at all. She was just a normal girl that liked plants, and now she is the super being that's going to save everybody. And I put it right here. Khione is the sonic screwdriver in human form. And she starts talking about all this stuff she's done. I'll have to take her word for it. They haven't shown any of it on TV. Nothing. None of it. They've shown none of it. She was talking about all this stuff about saving animals and humans and all this stuff she's done. And I'm like, when? This must have been while Iris's baby magically went from 3 months to 9 months old, right? So it's nice when a show decides, let's just fast forward and make crap up. So that's where we're at now. And so I figure she's Mother Nature. They haven't said that, but definitely looks like they're making it the Khione's Mother Nature, which is honestly weird. So she confronts Not Mark and she says, bring it on. Yeah. Not Mark laughs. I was laughing during this too because this confrontation was just, I love Candace Panabaker. Candace Panabaker. I'm putting the two together. Candace Patton, Danielle Panabaker. I think both actresses are very talented. Danielle Panabaker, who oddly enough has had a couple of kids, and we'll come back to it. Method acting, she might have wanted to talk to Candace about this, but Danielle Panabaker does the best she can with the material in this show, but the whole Khione and the way that the character's going, I don't know that it suits her strengths as an actress. So I just, her whole bring it on and fighting. For some reason, I bought her as Frost, but in this character, it's not as much. So Iris is in labor because sure, not Mark shows off that he has a crystal because that's what you do. Look, I got a crystal. Ah, you don't. Khione turns not Mark into dirt. I'm not making that up. I wish I was. She turns him into soil. Yeah. So the crystal falls out. The possessing negative speed force, I guess, is gone because it can't possess dirt. And then she says, this is going to hurt, snaps her fingers, and Mark is reconstructed. But this is, and I put here, undirted, which is now a word. I've created it, which, of course, he's completely clothed, meaning his clothes turn into dirt. And then when the dirt turns back into Mark, his clothes reconstitute as well because we want to keep this PG for the kids. And the crystal just disappears when Khione goes to grab it. So, psych, snap your fingers on that one, Mother Nature. So Barry appears because Iris is in labor, so it's just because Iris. So once this negative speed force disappears, Barry can come back, but he doesn't actually appear until Candace is with the others. Like, I'm in labor, I better come back. So Candace Patton has never had a baby, and I researched this. There was a rumor online that she was leaving the show because she was pregnant, but her character's pregnant. That's really weird. Anyways, she's not pregnant. She's never had a baby because, like, she's like, I'm having a contraction, and then she just sits down in the bed and goes, "That's past." Barry's like, I thought this would be a lot worse. Oh, they're bad. No. It is always quite telling when an actress that's never had a baby tries to play she's in labor. And again, I wonder, was Danielle not on the set that day? Also, the actress that plays Cecile, she's had babies too. So you would think she'd pull her down and go, you might want to be a little bit sweatier and maybe a little bit angrier, because generally contractions aren't fun. And it's not just a, whew, well, that passed. That was good. That was good. Baby, oh, look, baby's out. Cool. All right. Can I have a coffee? Can I? It's not like that in real life. So if you've never had a kid, it's not like that in real life. And she's like, oh yeah, it hurts a lot. Okay, sure. So then we go to Mark asks Khione what she is, and she answers with, I'm a goddess. Danielle Panabaker saying, I'm a goddess. I will leave it up to people to decide whether she is or she isn't, but I mean, it sounds a little egotistical, doesn't it? But hey, if you believe you've got it, you might. And so since she's overpowered now, because she basically has the ability to reconstruct and deconstruct life, she's leaving. She says, well, I'll help you guys. And I thought, okay, so we're going to take her, so we're going to Captain Marvel her. We're going to make her like so overpowered, we can't have her around all the time because she could just fix it. She just snap her fingers and everything's fixed. I look forward to her turning everybody into dirt in the next episode and doing it repeatedly. I think it would be great if people just kept getting possessed. She's like, and you're dirt, and you're back. All right, you're possessed again, and you're dirt, and you're back. I want that to be a series. I want it to be a series. Mother Nature turns everybody into dirt. So, all right. And then Barry disappears again. Because why? Oh, Grant Gustin just seems to have disdain for this show at this point. I don't know how much he had to do with the writing, but he had to be like, can I just not be in this episode? Barry is the Flash. You understand this, right, Grant? If you're not in the show, it makes no sense. I don't want to do it. I don't. Can I just have 2 scenes? All right, we'll work around it, but it's going to look stupid. So Eddie digs up his own grave, because sure, and says, I need to see his corpse, which is a completely normal thing for a person to say. I don't know that I've ever uttered that sentence in my lifetime. I don't know that I've ever gone to a graveyard. And the funny thing is that the police officer who was helping him, Shizo points a gun at him and cocks it, because that's what you do, right? You point a gun at someone because they're trying to dig up a grave because they're all messed up because the guy in the grave is supposed to be them. That's what you do. And then she's like, put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest. It's his grave. What are you doing? So And then she says it's all just a coincidence about the fact that he looks like Eddie and he has Eddie's memories. And the fact she says it's all just a coincidence, he remembers that as Eddie, he said nothing is a coincidence, finds the grave is empty, his memories return. You could have just done this at the start of the episode and just not done the rest of the episode. So then in the final thing that made me laugh, he pulls a bullet out of his chest. So all of a sudden, because he's remembered he's Eddie, he now has the gunshot wound from where he shot himself. And the bullet, thankfully, is right at the surface, so he can just pull it out and show it to her. Because that's how it works. You shoot yourself, and the bullet will just stay right where you can just grab. And it's normal for somebody to just reach into their chest and pull out a bullet. Based on the way that he grimaced when he did it, he's clearly never actually pulled a bullet out of his chest. Should have talked to somebody who's done that, because I think there'd be a little more pain. And then they went to be continued, and I thought, okay, so what actually happened in this episode? I'm asking an honest question. What is different at the end of this episode than it was at the start of the episode? Barry, still missing. Eddie is still Eddie. He just got his memories back. Khione is still Khione. Mark was possessed. Now he's not. He's back to being Mark. This was 50 minutes of I don't know. I don't know. And it's weird because the first episode last week I was like, you know what, this is okay. This is okay. This is fine. And this week I thought, you know what, I'm probably not going to have a lot to complain about. There's probably not going to be a lot I laugh at. Boy, was I wrong. And the weird thing is, I keep seeing reviews talking about how good the show is right now and how it's found itself. But I really do think it's because people are comparing it to the really bad seasons we've had of this show. And so since it's not as bad, it's still pretty good. But she turns people into dirt. Like, how do you, okay, that mound of dirt and your person. How? I don't, how did the clothes know? Did certain parts of the dirt, was that the clothes? Like, his shoes. Like, anyways, it's just one of those things that, I understand it's a comic book show, but it's ridiculous. This might have been the most ridiculous episode honestly might have been the most ridiculous episode I've ever watched. I look forward to more people being turned into dirt and then a snap of the fingers turning them back into a human. Khione has gone from, I don't know what my powers are, to God in a few episodes. She's God now. So there you go. And the Speed Force was telling her, it's all up to you. You're the hero. Well, it's a good thing it's called the Khione Show. It's a good thing it's a show where Danielle Panabaker is the main actress, the main character. It's a good thing it's a show all about her. It's a good thing that Khione's a character with a lot of backstory and a really nice long-term storyline. Oh, wait, no. She was brought in this year. She's not Caitlin. She's not Frost. She's a new character. And it's called The Flash, which doesn't have The Flash on it. So, can't wait to see how part 3 goes. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. There are only 2 episodes left. Yes, there are only 2 episodes left, and this is how they decided to write this episode, to drag it out. So it's 4 parts. It should be 2. I'm going to say straight out, the finale should have been 2. You've got, keep it punchy. Brevity is the soul of wit. Shakespeare was right. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.